I've been collecting cars now for about 15 years, and when I started this channel, one of my briefs was to put together some sort of annual update as to what's going on with my own cars. These aren't what my channel is exclusively about, but I do like to feature them now and again. And over the past 12 months or 9 months since I've took a 3-month hiatus and still not putting out as many videos as I'd like, I've been featuring a couple of my cars here and there, and the idea is to get to all of them in time. And this time last year I did put together 3 videos, fairly sort of extensive, really sort of going into my cars in detail, so people that are avid viewers of this channel could see what I have. Not a lot has changed in the last year because I spent 3 months job hunting, having had to find a different job, and so nothing happened with the cars during that time at all. Coupled with not the best summer in terms of weather, the cars sadly haven't been out as much as I would like, not even close. And so I'm hoping for a better year this year in that regard. However, it is important, especially when the cars get seldom used, that maintenance is maintained up to date, because I'm a big believer in that, and the minute you start falling behind in that regard, then you are always playing catch up. I'm going to start with the car that is not here. That's my 1985 Jaguar XJ6 Sovereign. That's been at Boffo's now for about 4 months or so, maybe a little bit longer. There's quite a bit of extensive job going on with that. You'll recall that it had an issue with the turnover of the engine. It was racing up and down and up and down of its own volition. We did get to the bottom of that. That's actually a faulty ECU that was causing that. That's been replaced, and some of the injectors have been replaced as well, and it's just generally had an overall tune-up. What's going on with it now over the course of the winter is that while they were going over the car, they found that the back brakes really weren't up to standard, so we're going to have new back brakes, which are inboard brakes on that car. And also we are going to get the issue with the fuel sorted, because it's very, very common with these cars for the fuel crossover valve, because it's got 2 tanks, and the return valves as well not to work, especially on the left, and it starts dumping fuel into the right. That's all being fixed for the first time during the entire period that I've had the car, so looking forward to that. And I'm going to be using that extensively this summer, so we're going to have several videos on that car. We'll get on to the BMW. It's only been out a couple of times this year. This is the car, as you know, that I've had the longest. It is now due for an oil change. We do have an issue as well, again, with the ignition switch, which we're going to have changed. I've tested the battery and that's fine, but it will click and click several times before it fires up. It's a common problem with the M62 engine. The last time it happened, we put an aftermarket ignition switch in, and that sort of cured it temporarily, but I'm going to get an OE switch to get in this car. Next up, the 1977 Mercedes 230, the oldest car here. We've had an extensive amount of work done to this car, with the carburetors and the points and condenser were replaced. The only things left to do, it does need a tune-up badly. I do not like the automatic choke on this car at all, but it is what it is. We're going to get, the only things it needs are the bonnet. It needs to be completely degreased. I've had several goes at it, but it's still very tight. So we're going to get the cable in it sorted out so it's actually easier to open. Likewise, these European headlights that I had put in it, they need to be wired in properly as well. So that's it as far as that's concerned. The 1990 Jaguar XJ Sovereign Majestic. This car really needs nothing except for an oil change. We do have an issue with, when I took it out last summer, the driver's side rear wheel was really hot, so I suspect that we've probably got a sticking caliper. So it's going to have a brake service as well this spring, so this will go to Boffos for that to be done. 1994 Jaguar XJS, nothing needed on this car at all until we get to the cosmetics, which will be down the road, but Boffos again are going to look at that and see what they can do. As with my XJ6 and the dreadful paint job on that, they think that they can bring this back to life a bit more. The only thing that this needs is a new battery. The present battery is good, it's just the wrong battery for it. So I'm going to put a new battery in. The 1990 Merkur Scorpio. Apart from a new switch for the heated rear window, this needs nothing at all. 1986 505 turbo. It's going to be the first car to get some love this year. The brakes are terrible. They all need replacing, so that's the first thing to be done. I'm going to have them look at the fuel system as well, because when it's cold in particular, this car has a job starting, but as soon as I put fresh fuel in, then it seems okay. So I'm not sure if we've got some old fuel in the lines and the injectors, and we need to get those replaced. We will see, but it seems to be fine over the summer. It's just during the winter months. I do know as well that I think what that is sounds like a woodpecker. There's an issue with the ground in this car as well, so just something else. So my 1990 Pontiac Le Mans. As you know, a couple of years ago, I poured over $3,000 into this car. Complete new fuel system, complete new braking system, complete new power steering system as well, new tyres. It's had everything. Ignition system too. We do have noise coming from the tensioner, so I've got a new timing belt. I can have the tensioner looked at, maybe even replace it. My 2002 BMW Mini R50 needs absolutely nothing. We've got the majority of the oil leak sorted out on this. That was done last year, and finally got my new exhaust put on as well. Of all the cars in here, this was the only car that had any work done to it last year, and that cost me about $350 all in all. My 1989 Volkswagen Golf Cabriolet. This didn't even go out, I'm ashamed to say, this year, unfortunately. It's running fine. I had it running just a week or two ago, and yeah, it sounds actually really quite sweet at the moment. Everything in here recently had fuel stabilizer put in. What this does need is a new exhaust, because the exhaust that's on it is not the correct one for the car. And also the speedometer cable, the sensor fell into the gearbox, so that needs to be retrieved and a new speedometer cable fitted. That's going to be a sizable job, I think, and there's a VW specialist that's up in North Lima that I want to use for that. I'm not going to spend too long on the cars outside, because as you can see, it's snowy and absolutely freezing. This is my 2013 Mini Cooper R56. This is the most recent addition to the fleet, in fact. Did an introductory video a couple of months ago on it when we picked it up. I'm going to do a more extensive one in the spring. It's not going out at all while we've got snowy conditions like this. I'm just using the 4x4 instead. No issues with this yet. It's running fine. It's done 68,000 miles. These engines, this Prince engine, you really need to look at that timing chain before it gets to 100,000 miles. So we've still got 20,000 miles really to worry about that yet, and still be safe. My poor old van here, the 2013 Chrysler Town & Country, which is our little camper. Did a video on this last year. This was a big ticket item last year, because I was up at the Cleveland Auto Show last February, and unfortunately while I was up there, the alternator decided that it was going to give up the ghost. Not only was the alternator the wrong one for the vehicle, it had actually ruined the PCM as well, which was trying to demand 80% more power than it could give out of it. They also found some leaking transmission cooler lines as well. All of that was 3 grand. So yeah, that was before we even started with the budget for the collection last year. So anyway, that's the van. It's been behaving itself just fine since. So these two, obviously you can't see the 1996 Buick Roadmaster because it's under a cover. This is a brand new budge cover which is specific for this car, and it is fantastic. I've been so pleased with it so far. Just got to get this snow off it. The Roadmaster itself last year didn't do a lot of miles because it was leaking coolant. Wasn't quite sure from where. It wasn't internal, that I do know, and because this sits outside, it was difficult to determine where it was coming from. Turns out that it was actually coming from one of the bottom hoses, and we've got those hoses replaced. Also, it was determined that one of the brake lines was going bad as well, so that's been replaced. Total cost on that was about $380. My 2019 Ram DT 1500. If you watch the video on this, you'll know that we had an issue with the back window leaking. This was very common on these early 2019 DTs. It was leaking from the high level brake light and the extrusion which the rear window sits in, which had cracked, and both were leaking. Now the dealer put a new gasket on the high level brake light, but despite promising that they were going to order a new window for me, they later just dropped it without telling me. So I got Stellantis involved, who promptly ordered the dealership to get it fixed for me. So kudos to Stellantis, and with all the troubles that they've been going through, for actually doing that for me. I'm very grateful, because the dealership wanted $1,500 otherwise to actually get that fixed. Okay, if you can hear barking in there, that's the dogs. They know that we're in here. My 2022 Chevrolet Camaro LT1. This is now mine. This was originally leased for 3 years, and I bought it during the course of 2024. So it is now mine, and I'm really looking forward, after this weather's broken, to having my first drive in this, with it being my car. It will need its next oil change fairly soon, so the sooner this weather breaks the better. So my 1995 Volvo 850 Turbo only went out sadly a couple of times last year. It's running fine. It still has that issue where it will occasionally not go into first gear. There is a specialist about 60 miles away, independent Volvo specialist, that I really want to get this car over to. Now that I have 100-mile free towing with Haggerty, with their drivers club, we're going to utilise that at some point next year. So the 2013 Fiat 500 Abarth, yeah, it's still relatively new. It's only done 1,500 miles, but this thing cost me over $2,000 during 2024. This is the only engine that I have in all of these cars that I've got that really hates sitting for any amount of time. It goes out of tune very quickly, it gets lumpy, it starts misfiring. This actually happened back in September. My stepson and I were out in the car, and we were out hooning around the lanes, and then suddenly it developed a misfire. Now, we're a little bit worried as to what it might be, but it was indeed only the plugs that needed replacing. I did have the coils replaced as a matter of course, because the car's 10 years old. And because it's 10 years old as well, despite only doing 1,500 miles, I decided that I was going to have the timing belt and water pump replaced, etc. as well. All of that at the dealership that it goes to was over $2,000. So yeah, this is why my cars are, another reason why my cars have been a bit thin on the ground in having work done to them during 2024, because the van, which isn't really part of the collection anyway, plus this, which is a new, relatively new vehicle, took a whole chunk of change. 2003 Jaguar S-Type R. Now, did a video on this which was released not too long ago actually. Running absolutely beautifully. It needs nothing. It could do with an oil change perhaps this year, if not next year. The only things that this needs are really cosmetic. Could do with making sure that we've got the hood ornament, which is been in the a glove box since I've had the car, fits on here properly, for instance. That would be nice. It's got a crack in the plastic right at the very front of the dashboard there that needs replacing. These headlights are incorrect for this car. This one's correct, but this one isn't. It's actually from a Sport. So I do have the old original ones, which I may just put back in. You know, they have that issue with the beams drooping because of the quality of the plastic inside. But since this car doesn't go out at night, I just don't think that it's an issue. So I may just have that replaced with the old ones. And but that's quite a sizable job. It needs the whole bumper coming off for that. So that's pretty much it for the AutoAtlantica collection. I don't think I've missed anything out. I keep thinking I have, but I don't think I have. It's the cold, it addles my brain. So, and we're not going to sort of hang around because it's just too darn cold. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this brief little update on the collection. I'm Darren, and this is AutoAtlantica.